Okay.
After all, I mean, both of these teams, they're just happy to be in the finals, right? Like, I'm not sure if either one of them expected, they're like, it's win or nothing. I think they were just like, let's get top 8, let's get top 4, let's get top 3, So they're not going to change up their game just based on the pressure,
Yeah, sure.
10 seconds
Ted, I
remaining.
want to ask you about this. This is a really pivotal game, isn't it, to win in a best of 5? Because you want to have that
5
advantage.
You don't want to be
Remaining.
down to one game.
Exactly.
You're out.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, the mental advantage you get from having 2 in the pocket. You're a game up in this series. If you lose the next one, you're out. You don't want to face that. I mean, the tension there must be unbelievable. Wings are young guys and a new team, so we haven't seen them under that kind of pressure. But neither have we seen DC.
All right, let's get into it. Draft number 3.
10 seconds remaining.
Welcome back upstairs. We're here at the drafting station getting ready for
5
Game 3
seconds
of Digital
remaining.
Chaos versus Wings. We're here to talk drafts, not dabs.
Wings
That right, winner?
Gaming's turn
Yes,
to pick.
Dakota.
Let's do it then. Wings Gaming, they open up with an Oracle, Digital Chaos. They got the Marana once more, gentlemen. And we await Wings Gaming next pick. So far, things seem stagnant.
Yeah, I just want to mention really quickly that I
10
wasn't
seconds
actually
remaining.
sold that Wings actually beat the counter to the Void in the last game. I feel
5
it was more just like the Doom not
remaining.
quite piecing it together with the rest of the lineup more than anything else.
What I'm really surprised of,
Reserve time.
nobody's banned the Void. Like, both teams tried to counter the Void, but both teams lost against the Void. Like, why would you not prioritize
Turn to
banning it?
pick.
Speak of the faceless.
I mean, if you're
devil.
Digital Chaos right now, you have to believe in the counter pick, right?
Now you need to pick Naga again. You need to force it down
What do
the
you think,
throat.
Winter?
Do they believe?
I mean, in my opinion, something like Tide is easier to deal with. Like
Okay.
Void, I mean,
10
I'm okay with the
seconds
Naga,
remaining.
like the way they ran it. You use the song to counter the Chronosphere, but they need
5
something else
seconds
much more
remaining.
solid to counter initiate. You can't just be defensive all the time. We saw in the first game, Wings, they picked the Purge. Oh yeah, you save your teammate,
Wings
but
Gaming's
you're not killing up the
turn to
enemy team.
So they don't go with the counter, they go with the comfort zone pick instead.
But I think this is good because it's a move comfort zone pick, and I think in the last game, obviously not much Doom has been played, so giving him a hero that he's going to be able to perform on, especially in the high.
But isn't that one of the heroes that he played a lot
DC's
in the
turn
past?
to ban.
I mean, it was like what
Yeah.
he became known for, but at the same time, he hasn't played it in a while, and I also feel like it's a very
Wings
different change of pace
Gaming's
compared to
turn
what
to
he's used to
ban.
playing.
But it's also a bit difficult for Timber to play against the Void in general. Like, the time dilation really makes the life hard for you. Like, you need Bloodstone, and then you need Lotus Orb, and as offlaner, it's really hard to farm.
But if you get a good lane, then it's easy.
Yeah, of course, if you get a good
10
lane.
seconds
I just
remaining.
literally think one of the teams should, just ban on Void. Like, both teams always try to counter it,
5
and they just can't.
seconds remaining.
Like,
But I don't really think it's that difficult to deal with Void, though, honestly.
no, I don't think so
Reserve
either,
time.
but, we'll see what they have in store for us, I guess. We saw the Shadow Demon ban.
Yeah, so we don't have to see Purge talk about it anymore, so that's nice.
Yeah. Game 4. You will talk about it in Game 4.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with you, Dakota?
What?
Hate her.
I love Shadow Demon.
Hate her.
We won't get to see him in
You
this
love
game, though.
Koto.
Yeah, he's just mad because it's not Keeper.
Yeah.
No, neither team
You
probably.
will never see Keeper anymore in this series because every game is gonna be banned, Dakota. No more. Sorry.
Bold call coming out from Winner here.
But what do we notice? For the first time in a long time, the first 2 picks are the same for Wings. What happened there?
Great
Maybe they started taking
observation.
it seriously.
Great observation skills, Goblin.
Taking it seriously?
Yeah, I mean maybe more so than obviously they like throwing curveballs, but at the same time, I think they want to do that in a position where they're a game up. They don't want to do it in a position where they're tied.
I think it's a reaction to the Mirana. I noticed that they picked Oracle specifically against Mirana.
Of course, like it's hard
Yeah,
counter,
of
we spoke
course.
about it before. Yeah. And Void is just like their
A
comfort
good hero,
zone.
like a good hero for them.
Yeah.
They could run him off lane, they could run him
DC's
safe lane.
turn to
Like we
ban.
spoke of this time and time again. You want to have an opening where you can change your lanes if you feel you have to. Like you don't want to go into the draft like, okay, this hero, we pick a hero that can only go to one position. Then it will be difficult to outdraft you and armor over your opponents.
Yeah, I really like that
10
Walker ban from
seconds
DC here. Obviously, they would have picked it up again if they could, and they have the pick after the ban,
5
so
seconds remaining.
pretty solid ban there. Banning out the Morphling after that. I guess Void and
Reserve
Oracle,
time.
they do have a lot of problems with Morphling.
In general, it's like you can never really focus the hero, and that's really a nuisance later on, especially when you get like E-Blade and stuff. Like, yeah, the Oracle kind of counters it with
Wings
Fate's Edict, but it's more like
Gaming's turn
you
to
get
pick.
bursted down too quick to be able to save somebody.
And it actually counters Void pretty hard too, because Morph is pretty much the only hero that can obviously because of Morph, he can just like survive the chrono.
Ice Blast.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you couple it up with Ice Blast, but you know what I mean, right? Like your
Remaining.
chrono, you usually just die, but Morphin can morph up, and he's like the only hero who can really do that.
5 seconds remaining.
How do we feel about maybe Wings Gaming going for Skywrath Mage or something here? Good against the Timber, good with Faceless Void, and it's good for their name.
It's super good.
I would like it. Together with Oracle as well, your Ancient Seal, your nuke deals like 400 damage.
Just perfect. It's their mascot. But no, they say
Sorry,
screw
dude.
that. We're gonna get a
DC's turn
Kunkka.
to pick.
I mean, Kunkka's also good for like catching these two heroes. Like DC's opening is very mobile, like Temper Chain and Leap Away. You want something that's going to be able to start a fight outside of just chrono. You don't want to play on such a long cooldown, I think, if you're Wings during the...
Come on, let's be real. Kunkka is just a great hero now.
I mean, yeah, he's just overall really
10
good.
seconds
I mean, he is, and
remaining.
they have 2 setups for him too, like the Fortune's End. Can like disable someone or
5
like
seconds
freeze someone for
remaining.
2 seconds, and then you have like the Chronosphere, where it's like really easy to get a boat and a torrent in,
Reserve
on top of
time.
the like mobility restrictions.
Yeah, they have 2 really good saves now for the cause. Like both the supports can keep their cause alive in team fights very well. So for DC, do they go for more bursts or do they go for like, I guess you might want to consider going for heroes that can kill the supports behind, like run past the front lines, go behind, kill the Oracle first.
I mean, Potom and Timbersaw should be able to do that usually. It's just gonna be like really hard regardless to get there. They have X mark, they have time
you need
dilation.
stuns, right?
Yeah.
Right now these 2 heroes are, I mean, Arrow is not so reliable. So you need someone else to initiate for you so you can go in and kill them.
And you don't want to jump in the back as a Potom because, okay, you kill one support, but then you're dead after.
That's a really interesting
DC's
That was way-
turn
That was
to
a fast DP pick.
It was
right
a
there.
really fast DP pick. But DP Void, one of the most old school combos, as well as DP Oracle,
Oracle,
is super good strong
so good because of that ult and the
Yeah.
soul.
How are they
suck.
actually going to kill the DP with their heroes? Their last 2 picks have to have
No,
like...
their picks are not meant to kill the
10
DP.
seconds
Because
remaining.
as soon as they saw the Kunkka, they had Void, Kunkka, and Oracle. If maybe
5
DC feels like we're not going to take
seconds
team fights. Right now we have Mirana with like going for the axe, so you have a lot of deep push. Then we have Timber.
Just
wave
split
clear.
push, you mean?
Yeah, then you pick the Wyvern where you have also split push. So you're never going to be able to take a team fight in the early game.
They just have to make
super
sure then.
dangerous though, right? Like, you can't take a team fight against Wings, you're just going to take your towers.
Yeah, like DP is just gonna high ground you if you don't want to
I mean, it
fight against them.
depends how you play around it though, because they're cooldown based. You can always cut the creep wave if you're allowed to, like the AM game where Fear, like he bought his team so much time by cutting the wave. Like something like that would be useful against a 5-man lineup.
I would really
Well,
like
Wings
to
dealt with that super well. Sorry, go ahead.
you know, like I would really like to see like a split push style too, but they need to pick a hero that can actually kill objectives too, because right now they don't have any. Timbersaw, Potom, Sand King, they're all really good at clearing waves, but they can't actually hit buildings.
Yeah.
Is this a support Sanking?
DC showing that they have flexibility now.
Yeah, Weeha doesn't want to play it for sure, like the Timber, I mean.
Do we see Moo play Sand
10
King very
seconds
often?
remaining.
Not
Not really.
right?
I think it's a Misery Sand King.
Yep.
Yeah, that would make a lot more
5
sense.
seconds remaining.
Saxa, Wyvern, Misery,
Yeah.
Sanking, and Moo on the Timber. So that sounds more likely for DC.
Saxo's Wyvern is out of control good, so.
Is AM too greedy for DC?
AM would be pretty greedy, but they need something like it. They need some split pusher that can also burst like heroes down later on.
No, but if you think about grid, since they're never gonna be able to fight anyway, so you just pick a hero that's gonna allow you to siege later. I mean, it's greedy in a way, but that's your game plan. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to fight early.
But with that being said, like Kunkka is a pretty hard counter to like heroes like AM.
The setup, yeah.
Yeah, like you X mark him and you're pretty much dead. Until you have like Manta Style or BKB.
Does Slark fit that similar profile?
Slark would definitely fit their
Yeah, but
heroes
X
a lot more.
it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Same as AM, like he falls in that same problem.
Yeah, pretty much like. Just in general, Kunkka is like always a mobile hero counter. He has always been. Like even more now with the like
10
8-second
seconds
X mark.
remaining.
Yeah, but you're a carry player. Look at their heroes. Like, they have Chronosphere, they have X mark. It's very
5
difficult to
seconds
play a
remaining.
carry around.
Yeah,
that.
it's really difficult, and what you need to do is you need to get a hero out there. Probably, if you really want to split push, you can pick an AM because he can get out of control really easily if they're focused like on pushing all the time.
But they have a lot of team fight now, though, don't you? Is it possible that they pick
DC's
a
turn
team
to
fight
pick.
called Just Fight?
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's just like how do they kill the VP on top of the Kunkka boat and the Oracle ult? It's like really hard to kill her.
You Barrow Shark epicenter her and
You
curse,
could go-
curse the heroes behind.
You could just go full spread damage and just pick Gyro, right?
But Gyro would be
10
beast too,
seconds
and they
remaining.
ran it before too.
I've seen people go Sven against DP for the burst
Yeah,
and
the- and
armor.
the
and that
armor.
help- the armor helps a lot too.
And those are pretty good options.
Yeah, if you want to really team fight them.
You're a lot of melee cores then, I
Reserve
guess,
time.
but oh no, sorry, Moran is there fine. We'll have to see though.
I just always feel like Sven against Void is kind of iffy to play. But then you get chronoed and suddenly you're
Yeah, but
all the armor's gone.
all the carries are, you know, pretty difficult to handle.
Yeah, of course, but like when you're more likely to get chronoed than like let's say Slark or AM.
That's why you got that Wyvern and that SK behind you though, just in case.
Yeah, you need a tank. You basically just need a tank for those two heroes to do their jobs.
There you do. I mean, Timbersaw could kind of like fill in that role, I guess. It's like a difficult choice for DC. Whether they go in like teamfight direction or split push direction.
Or somewhere totally different. We have not seen this little guy on the main stage, that's for sure. The Bone Fletcher comes out.
But that's kind of what Winder and I spoke about before. It's like they want to have the split push hero that can also kill objectives really fast, and Klings definitely fits the category.
The other thing too is Oracle is not particularly good against that
10
kind of hard carry.
seconds
He
remaining.
deals insane damage.
You need Ghost Scepter as the Oracle, so you don't have to
5
use your ultimate to
seconds
save
remaining.
yourself, and you're able to survive against the Klings.
He pretty much solves all their problems. Like
Yep.
he can get to the back line as well.
Reserve time.
It's like a super good pick. Like, how would Wings respond now? They need another core mid that is good against bottom. And like lineup as a whole. Oh no, that has DP, what am I talking about?
Yeah,
They need an offlane or carry.
Probably
Yeah.
offlane. Yeah, probably offlane. Probably.
Yeah, they usually run carry void on
5
Shadow.
seconds.
Nyx
Assassin
Assassin.
offlane, it's good.
Good against Timber, obviously.
Good against Wyvern too.
I feel like that lane's incredibly hard for him though.
Oh yeah, like Klings against any offlaner is like terrible.
All right. Final thoughts on the draft?
My heart is with Wings.
Your heart is with Wings.
My heart is with Wings.
I'm gonna go against. I'm gonna say DC.
And Draskell has no heart. So let's go ahead and throw it down to the casters right now. We got Toby Wan and Merlini.
Thanks. We got a lot of heart down here. It's a heart that loves Dota 2 and has drawn up series 1-1 apiece, Merlini.
Who's your heart rooting for?
My heart roots for great Dota 2. It always
That's a
has.
cop-out.
It always
Get out
will.
here, Toby.
I don't care about a cop-out as long as I had terrific Dota. I don't care. And an Enigma.
Maybe one of these games, Toby.
One of
Prepare for
them.
battle.
Just one. Just like one. That'll be fine. All right, let's get into it, man. DC, they're bringing in the Clinks. He's a man, the draft panel where they were asking for someone that's able to fight, but someone also that can push towers down. Clinks, he sort of ticks those boxes.
Yeah, and he's much more resilient than the mobile carries like the AM, those split pushers that you think of that Kunkka's really good against. I really like the draft.
How long do you keep resolution farming on the Clinks? Do you want him to early rotate? Do we look for the early Orchid build into like hero kill rotations?
It all depends on how much they can keep the Nyx Assassin down. Nyx Assassin, they did not go the Iron Talon laning strat this game on Wings.
Yay! They still won with it.
Just a mind game.
I'm just gonna throw that one out there. That even though we're sitting there going, we don't understand why
30
this isn't
seconds
working.
to
Actually, no, we understand why it isn't working, but they still take the game. Yeah, I'm interested to see the timing of resolution.
I also like the Clinks a lot because it gives them Roshan potential. I think they had a lot of issues with that in the prior game.
Are you still concerned about what the Oracle can bring? We've seen Oracle working beautifully with Death Prophet in the past. Now you've also got potential saving from, from Kunkka, from Void
battle
Chronos.
begins.
That's an interesting timing for a smoke too.
It's just really great versus the Mirana because it's really difficult to stop her Ag's timing, and this way you don't really have to worry about it so much. A double Starstorm, if you get the Fate's Edict out on time, it's not going to do any damage.
This movement from Wings, they smoked up underneath the tower as the Foghorn was going. They're going to make a break for the side shot. Now, a lot of the time, actually, Misery, he's walking over towards this. He's going to reveal the smoke. So they start with the Fortune's End. Eyesight is there. He's waiting for the Fortune's End to connect. Now they go into the torrent. Misery up into the air. Fire Strike to Babel. Goes up into the tree line. There's a small path to get out, and Fate's trying to block it. He's actually got himself a stun of Babel. Resolution turns on the damage. Misery will escape. Saskia does actually have his defensive Cold Embrace. Another torrent will fly in. Resolution, Fortune's End will connect. Misery lining up for another Bar Strike. Double stun on that one. Faith dropping down very, very low. Misery doesn't have the damage, and he also doesn't have the life to stay on the front lines. They look for another torrent. Nope, Ice just started the animation, but he didn't follow through. So Wings trying to get aggressive and contest this safe lane until they TP their support quickly down to bottom lane.
This is something that we see out of the team's plot. Just don't give them an easy lane up top, and Sox and Resolution are having a very difficult time dealing with.
Oh, that helps.
Double melee.
Fu just got time locked on the bottom lane. Combine that with the Fortune's End. Moo's gonna go down. First blood, it goes to Wings.
And on the top lane,
Yeah, Misery's rotating her out. Fate, so low. Resolution, lower. Cold Embrace is still available. Now Misery will arrive. Ice Ice, Burrow Strike is just going for the last swing, trying to find Resolution, but these searing arrows doing the early damage that DC required. That arrow fly down. There she is. Resolution will find himself a kill.
And all three of these heroes are very, very low. They're going to have to commit a lot of resources unless they want a suicide. Misery will spill blood to the Centaur.
That he will. He looks for move speed. Windlace and TP scroll. He'll come straight back out to the lane. Look for another rotation to fight.
Wings like doing this. They like it looks bad because they both die, but they have to expend so many resources, so much HP.
Moose gotta be careful. They're gonna go again on him. He walks over. Such a simple combo. Fortune's End into Torrent. We saw it on the top lane. Now bottom lane. He has reactive armor this time around, but still no Timber Chain available. So Moo, poor man's shield will not save you from that.
He thought he was in a one-on-one situation, and then he skilled up for this one-on-one build with the level 1 Whirling Death, the level 1 reactive armor. In a very defensive situation, you want to max your Timber Chain, but with that, might be time to think about that Iron Talon.
Now this has been a heavy rotation early game, only 2 minutes into it. We've seen multiple lane switches. The one lane which hasn't really had anything happen in it is that mid lane. It's the Weehaw versus Blink lane. The Mirana on Death Prophet.
Misery smoked up behind, looking for a stun into an arrow. It's only a level 1 stun though, but Blink's so far out with no Spirit Siphon.
And you still got the Starfall available too. So Weehaw connects on this. Now into that Starfall, the Torrent! The secondary star! It connected on Blink. So he does fall down.
And he does have this bottle, but he needs someone to pull him a TP scroll if he wants to get back to the mid lane. He also had to waste a Fairy Fire for that.
Misery is not giving up on this mid. It's a little bit different though when he runs an Ogre. Ogre is a lot tankier than the SK, so I'll give some extra respect as Ice comes into mid. Nice Torrent, Weehaw. He's got Leap available, pounces himself away. Will bottle and salve up quickly as Misery's rotated to the top looking for Faith Beyond.
And in the meanwhile, Timbersaw finally gets some space in the bottom lane, going for 2 reactives. Screw the Timber Chain, he says. I can just tank up.
I'm wondering if this is one of the other reasons why you're seeing rotations heavily into mid. They're trying to pull the attention of Wings off that bottom lane to give Moose the space he needs.
And Moose still has a lot of regen. I don't know if they're going to be able to press him down. No clarities on the Oracle, and he's only level 2.
They got to help though. Ice looks to come in from the rear.
I still don't think they have enough damage.
Do you like this build coming out from the Conquer, going the early point up in Typebringer as opposed to X marks the spot?
We see this a fair amount when the Kunkkas want to go armlet first and farm up. It's just a good way to keep up your farm so that you're not heavily reliant on the X-Torn combo to get kills and accelerate your farm. But I think they have enough setup. I really dislike it if you don't have any setup, but with Nick Stun, Chronosphere, Oracle Fortune's End, it should be pretty easy for him to land with the Torrent.
Misery's coming back down to the mid. There's still no Observe Wars this season, but Ice sitting on the high ground. He'll definitely see Misery. Now he puts down his own ops. Right. It's not like we need to see Misery anymore. He'll hit him with a Torrent. And over they come. Spirit Siphon, Burrow Strike available. He'll actually get a double stun thanks to the arrow, also connecting on Blink. And the combined up Starfall, Misery will back out. Trigger his salve. So just a trade-off of damage, no kills coming from that.
You have to be careful. He still has the Arcane Rune on him. Getting a lot of value out of that.
I didn't realize he already had the arrow, leap, and everything else back up, not to mention the low cost.
Moose been stacking at this large camp. Shadow's gonna pull it, but we could see a small contest for it in the bottom lane. It's a 3-stack now.
Well, it'll be easy for Mu to deal with that if he was level 6, but doesn't have the Chakram available yet. Another heavy rotation to top 3 from either side. They stun on Resolution, Torrent as well. Saxa, he needs to get that Cold Embrace off, but Oracle has more than enough magical damage. Misery with the Burrow Strike forward, wants the next assassin, doesn't have the damage output, but maybe with the help of the Wyvern, he will have it. Misery to the tree line. The Salve is actually going to get cancelled off. It was the Caustic Finale that did it, and now Faith, 28 life. Will it be enough? Is he going to pop? Faith barely survives, dropping down to 8 at one point. And Wings, the rotation works from them.
Wow, that was so close. Man, that salve tick really saved him there.
Resolution wants a kill on top lane, however. Ice doesn't have anything to play with. No mana. Resolution, Searing Arrows, and Strafe will take one more, and there she is. Resolution, a good answer back. And an overstaying of welcome from Ice.
One thing about DC's draft too is they picked the Winter Wyvern perhaps maybe a little bit too early, expecting a lot of physical damage out coming from Wings, but their mid-court especially doesn't really do that much.
Moving for Wee, don't know how this kill's really meant to work. He can easily leap away from Crypt Swarm and as well as the Spirit Siphon. No point up in silence yet for the Death Prophet. And I said focusing more on laning as Innocence actually roams around the back line. Now, it is nighttime, so DC had no idea that he moved that way. And Weeha right next to him, start with the Stun Fortunes and as well the Torrent. If it wasn't that, it was going to connect. It was a Purifying Flames from Innocence. And that's what found the kill.
And that Observer Ward just scouting him out the whole time. Stoxa in there, but he can't really do anything. He has level 2 Splinter Blast, but that's going to do little in the way to stop their push. Drops an Observer Ward behind. Doesn't look like it was scouted out by Wings' own Observer Ward.
And they need TP support, but from who? You don't have any real big ultimates up yet. You don't even have the Chakram, so Moo will walk in. Now, Ice can wrap around the back of him. As he's just trying to go for the kill on the Death Prophet. They can't hold her in position. The arrow will fly out from Wee, but easily dodged because you can see it coming from a mile away.
No level 6 yet on Moo. There's no chance of them getting that kill. Not really that much damage on the tower though, so Wings not really getting that much out of there. First Exorcism. Radiant has used Scan, expecting a smoke perhaps.
I think they were expecting a rotation from Resolution, and they are right. But he walked out of the Obs and Sentry in mid lane. That was after the dust and the scan was used. Well,
there is a dust on the Oracle in case they want to.
Oh, the arrow off target. If that hit, Resolution still can't find the kill. He doesn't have enough damage to kill off the Death Prophet in time.
They don't actually have the Fate's Edict on the Oracle, so you can't disarm the...
Oh, top lane, Misery. Nice Sandstorm dodge. They put down their own sentry. Ward Cold Embrace will pull him out of the Sandstorm with Faith again. Burrow Strike cancels the TP out. Digital Chaos. They're looking for that kill. Misery dropping down low. Fate doesn't have much to work with. He's got stick charges in 1 second. He's got that up now, and he's actually holding on to them. He won't pop, however. Not while Shadow chases down the Winter Wyvern, but support comes in. It's Resolution. He's running down, looking for the kill over on Fate, leaving Suska by himself under his own tier 1 tower. Shadow commits the Chrono Spear, so that won't be available, but Resolution shows himself. Time Walk on cooldown. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second over the tree line and far away from DC's line. They run down, but Resolution's not giving up. The arrow will force Shadow a little bit closer towards the tree line, but Innocence is in the neighborhood.
Simple yet effective. What a juke.
While on bottom lane, Moo can finally take out that stack. Ice is leeching a little bit off him. Oh, the Torrent. Okay, Ice just TP's away.
I'm surprised he didn't go for X, especially considering the heroes that he's up against. Marana, a Timbersaw, I usually see like 1 or 2 levels, but not 3 like he's committed. But it's nice damage. Maybe they just want to be able to burst people down during Chronosphere combo with that Torrent boat later.
What do you think about the build on the Faceless Void? Is Lincoln Sphere really
Dude, he
viable?
always goes Lincolns.
Like, even in this game, is it really that viable?
They usually go pretty strange items, but that's the only thing that I've seen that's consistent amongst their items. Faceless Void carry Lincoln's first almost every game. Good versus Winter's Curse? I guess. The last game is definitely good versus the Doom. This game, yeah, I don't agree with it so much, but they like it a lot.
Nice detection from Resolution. He was just hovering around the tree line. And Nyx Assassin walks through a sentry wall while Resolution still had vision. And this is the reason now why Misery hiding behind his own tier 1 tower. But Nyx has moved into the mid lane instead, looking towards Weeha. Not going to find an opening. The Vendetta Rush is going to wear out in a second.
They saw him with the Observer Ward though. He thinks he's in the fog, but he actually was not. And perhaps they might spring a trap for Faith. And so Clink isn't actually going for the Oracle because he assumes he has the disarm, but little did know he doesn't have disarm, and he's probably not going to pick it up until level 8. So he's kind of been walking around with a get out of jail free card, even though he shouldn't be.
Resolution steals the regeneration rune right in front of Blink, and Blink is just like, wait, I didn't pick that up. It's not inside my bottle. What the hell's going on? It's the skeleton warped Clinks. But that casual Blightstone early on. Trying to find the extra damage. Clink's very, very good at bringing down tier 1 towers.
He's been running around a lot though and hasn't really been able to find that much. He was really doing really well in terms of the CS, but now he's falling behind in that work as he struggles to.
Well, nice scan.
Builds up.
They reveal the Nyx Assassin sitting in the tree line.
But they have the ward behind the tower. Wings does. They don't see Winter Wyvern just yet, but now they'll know there's only 2.
Nyx is on the edge of the vision. He's going to walk in range of the tower. Faithful will reveal himself. Bottom lane, Chronosphere over on Moo. Very tanky Resolution, bringing in the damage. Moo chains up. The Torrent well off the mark. It's Resolution. Skeleton Walk will come off cooldown so he can run himself away. They are out, while Faith going to find Weeha back behind the tower, dropping down that Ring of Aquila to use wand charges, and now they commit. It is the Exorcism going to work. Range, the Radiant Sentry wards up, so they see Wee. He has to leap up to the tree line. Spirit Sight know exactly where he is. He can't get out this one. The stun will connect. An icicle one from Faith. Finding Wing in the trees.
Wow, look at Wee's farm. He is so underfarmed. Not only has his point booster and then some at this point, but he's about to lose his T1. He's died 2 times at this point. Each Mirana game coming from them getting worse and worse. Resolution coming around from behind as the TP comes in.
Yeah, they look for that damage. Resolution stunned up, and Misery brings the extra health. Barra striking forward towards Blink, but the damage is enough. Misery, the Sentry one was still down, so the Exorcism finishes him off.
Wow, they tried to kill him right before the Exorcism returned all that health back to him. And this Winter Wyvern hasn't really been able to do that much. It's great against mass summons and a lot of units that are pushing, but Splinter Blast doesn't really do that much versus a Death Prophet +1.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped the Wings pickoffs and the push.
Yeah, they're not pushing with units, they're just pushing with a couple heroes in their ultimate, and maybe wishing he had gone for Max Arctic Burn at this point. Still, they're unable to get those combos. Once Winter Curse come out, easy setup for an Epicenter Burrow Strike follow-up. Boo, in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, again, they're going for this combination with no X-Marks. They're not going to drag him back, but now the ship, the Rama's on the way, and Moo gets his fill. Weehaw.
Who needs time dilation when you have Bash?
Faith is looking at Resolution too. Invis up around the tree line. You'll need to hit him first with the Vendetta, then follow up on the stun. Either that or he waits for the Death Prophet, who's rotating up to find this kill. Vendetta will last long enough. That is a level 1 Vendetta.
Blink is Invis. They have a reserve reward scouting any TPs on top lane, but he thinks he's safe. He thinks he's alone.
Here they go. Resolution. Pop him up. And Resolution, he goes Invis, but not in time. They trigger the dust just in case.
Man, that invisibility rune, he might have been a little bit scared. It's like, oh, okay, Nyx +1 can kill me, but if you don't see any heroes, there's no way you can predict that king coming.
Suxa, Shadow jumping in, double chrono, Misery. He can prep the everything. The question is, can he get in range? Wyvern's already down, and now they're running towards them. Misery will just walk over. Shadow's still got Time Walk available, so we can repair all the damage that's done to him. And DC, again, getting picked off with no rebuttal.
Very patient Chronosphere with Shadow, however, they are lacking a lot of mana on the Kunkka, not enough for that boat. He's going for more of the damage bill with the Max Tidebringer with the phase boots. And another tower.
Yeah, without the committal of Exorcism, this is a troubling sight when you can't even hold your tier 1.
Misery looking for a kill, Epicenter.
With a pivot chain into Chakram, they commit the Epi too. Innocence will walk into the side of it, but now we can just use Fortune's End. Slow down Misery. It will connect. The follow-up stuff with the Mana Burns by Carapace. The curse is out. It holds Oracle in, and Moo comes in with a Chakram, but false promise. It will keep Innocence alive as he TPs himself away to safety. Moo's still looking for something. Actually, he's just looking to get the hell out of here. Exorcism is triggered for the stun. It's on Moo, and it's going to be Wings holding the Timbersaur in position. No, the chain up. The last attack from the Death Prophet will find the kill. The supporters arrive for DC. They arrive in with a big searing arrow damage. Faith makes a break for the tree line. Still alive. Triggering does too. So no extra invis for Resolution. Time lock. Not going to be enough from Shadow. As Weehaw. Cold Embrace. Resolution. The torrent is going to connect the double stun. Faith the end. He walks himself out. He walks over. He wants the last finishing move. He won't get it. Ice will finish him. The torrent. It may not be done yet. Suxa set up towards the air. X marks the spot. You ain't going nowhere apart from down to the briny deep. Faith doesn't have enough for the stun. Spy Carapace up unless she connects over on Misery. He tries to create space. No time up from Shadow. Time will forward. Now he finds the kill. More TP support arriving from DC. Another connected time from Eyesight to the Misery. Stun. Chakra forward. Mooney can turn the tide of this fires Misery. The one charge will keep him back into it. He can go for another Burrow Strike. It's Moo. Time lock for a century. He wants to walk out to the T1 towers. No stuns available from Nyx Assassin, but these ones really playing dividends.
Oh my goodness, what ungodly teamwork coming out from Wings next to that side shop.
It's not over yet. Innocence is coming over the Chrono. It's on Weehaw. Innocence brings the damage. Weehaw, he is gonna pop like a top. They look for more. Ice. Where is it? No, the Ice X Mark's not gonna hit. They turn around, look at the T1 tower. DC. Do they still try and defend this?
Eyesight's looking for an X from the back.
He hasn't got it. Instead, he was actually starting the animation for the torrent. But this tier 1 tower is gone. DC, no more fight. They push the Clink to the top lane. They need that Desolator done. They need the damage. They need the Blink Dagger on Misery.
There were so many small things in the last fight. The stuns triggering on the Clink so that he can't get around.
Has he really done this? The torrent. If it connected on Misery, he would have had it. He's actually chasing him down. X marks the spot is available, and support is on the way. Misery back to tier 1 tower. Now the X mark right on top of the tower, pulls him into the torrent. Innocent with the damage. The arrows are flying forward. No one's going to get caught by it. The curse is on Faith, but it's too late. From Zuxa, Weehaw wants to do something. Resolution's on the hillside, just watching his teammate die.
This is without Faceless Void. He's just up there happily farming top while DC have all 5 mid.
Just
trying
keep
to
farming.
thwart this aggression. There is no downtime for Wings.
You don't need downtime. They just keep getting advantage after advantage with every minute that passes.
They're really finding their stride.
And the group got to go for a smoke. They're under the tier 1 tower, so yeah, they are. They really don't want to stop this aggression.
DC, they really need their Dezo out on Clinks to threaten the Roshan. They need some more items to get back into this game right now. All their cores are falling like flies. Wee's network is almost half of Shadows.
Misery. Luckily for him, he doesn't turn to the side. Unluckily for Zuxa, X marks the spot, and once again, it starts in. Misery will not be able to get back there in time to help out.
The Cold Embrace has done next to nothing in this game, though. The Oracle Max Purifying Flames has just bursted hero after hero. Wings should claim another tower off of this.
Surprisingly enough, they commit Exorcism. This early on, they potentially could have been looking, I don't say they look towards a tier 3 tower where they're 17 minutes in.
The way the game has developed has been completely different from what DC have expected, though. Shadow maybe going for a Chrono on a Wii, but they wanted to just hold out the lanes. They have the spam with the Timbersaw, the Starstorm, the Winter Wyvern spam, but the way Wings are taking fights, it's not really at towers, or they're circling around behind you, splitting up, so they're not getting caught by the curse, not getting caught by too many multi-man burrow strikes. It's just a very chaotic fight where DC need order. They need time. And they need Dezo.
They don't have time. They're playing up against the Master of Time, Faceless Void. Like, he's getting controlled.
His time dilations have been really spot on. I was like, man, that thing's only level 1. It just seems like it lasts forever.
Now, it seems like Wings always know. The Oracle did tell them how to play up against DC. If they can keep this momentum up, they could be looking at a 2-1 advantage in a TI Grand Final.
I think the bigger problem is that the Kunkka's getting far. You mentioned his early Tidebringer build earlier. Now he has an armlet complete along with the phase. He is becoming another core.
And the Blink Dagger on Death Prophet makes her almost an initiator.
Wow, she has Blink. That is a very unusual build for the Death Prophet. But I think it's really good because they need the position. They just need to be able to run on the back line, force Moran to use Leap, force Timbersaw to use Chain.
He's not denying the sentry ward, so it doesn't reveal his position. He knows it's there, but now DC smoke up, and they're coming for an opening. They're pinging and saying, I can see the Kunkka. We know they're headed down. There's no bottom runes. Not going to go that far.
Oh, the scan.
The sentries are down, but now Faith, he moves over. The sentries, he's out of range, but he actually just walks straight past him. Gets a double stun on Nu and Weehaw. Blinks. Oh, no, he's stuck. He has to go invis for now.
They don't know where he is.
No, they don't. He's not even meant to be there, so they can't predict he's going to be there. Shadow will come over and free his teammate.
At least they have 2 observer wards in the area. They got something out of the smoke, and one is just out of range of the Radiant Sentry. So perhaps with this, Clinks can sneak in and take Roche. I don't think he's strong enough to take it by himself, but maybe a Cold Embrace here and there will be enough to secure that Aegis. But more importantly, they need towers. I'd like to see some maybe backdooring resolution.
Playing stunned by Carapace. Sent instantly back that Starfall of Weehaw. Shadow, he's there. Chrono's up. Moonlight Shadow will not protect the Marana.
No
now bottom lane because they found the Death Prophet. But Death Prophet, what? She blinks away. No one attacked her. She just gets her out. She had the Yule Scepter as well. With the Exorcism up, DC was, well, hoping to kill her up before it could do a lot of damage. Now she'll bring it back over, something a little bit longer left on it. Timberstorm up for Fate, gets the stun. Now the Exorcism goes to work. Misery prepping the epicenter. Burrow strikes forward. Please going down with the fortitude. The save is huge. Resolution's time dilation out this fight. Sucks has the TP out, but DC, they're losing everything, including the kitchen sink.
Wow, I can't believe that Blink Dagger just worked out for him so incredibly well in that position. Yeah, that sounds odd.
Well, that's everything about Wings, right? It's unusual, it's different, and it works.
Yeah, that is the craziest part, that it works. That was a nice epicenter by Sand King, but they don't have enough damage not to take down Blink. With the Rum and the False Promise, like, it's just such great synergy too. Purifying Flame, you don't even need to cast Faith Edict, because Purifying Flame does no damage to you.
Good team, tier 2 town now, bottom lane, going the way of Wings. And DC, they're on the ropes, almost 10,000 net worth and experience behind. The graph just keeps rising for Wings.
And I don't even think the Axe is that game-changing for DC at this point. They have Fate's Edict to counter it, but more importantly, Nyx Assassin, you can just Carapace right in front of him, and it's gonna hit on him if he hasn't had a creep. So a split-pushing Murano can normally get out of control and farm, but not this game. DC looking for a smoke.
Oh, it's like they're trying to contest a Roshan play from Wings, but Wings aren't in there. Instead, it's Misery who's gonna get initiated on by Faith Beyond. Shadow actually gets a first hit time lock. Misery into the Sandstorm Burrow Strike, but it's nowhere near fast enough. You'll end up going down the Fate time, not being his friend, and now DC Fate, he's so close, you can smell him! But he doesn't know! Timber will be the tank with the reactive armor, but blinking around, Shadow's in the neighborhood. A quick sentry down from the Wyvern will at least let them know if Nyx Assassin wants to walk in, but Shadow initiating on the Wyvern. This is even more distraction. If DC can get this AUC Immortal, it leads to nice Wings next to a life. Sucks is going to keep his own life up for it, but Roshan down to 3.1 now, slowly ticking. Murano's taking the top tier 1 tower. It's almost done. And Wings are none the wiser. DC. They're going to pull a quick one on him.
Very important for them with the Clinks. He spent so much time running around in the early game. He needed something to compensate him for his troubles. The precious Aegis goes his way, but I don't know if he's the only one left at the end of the fight. I'm still not sure about DC's chances coming up in a team fight. They just need to keep on split pushing, get some more towers to equalize this net worth. It's becoming close to uncontrollable with a 12,000 net worth lead for Wings.
Well, they need some other key items as well. Like the fact you've had no proper initiation from DC, Murano arrows don't connect, and until that Blink Dagger is over on Misery, he also has no joy. Resolution can jump in through the backlines, maybe that's going to be his fun key, but he's going a BKB build next, so he doesn't have an Orchid to control up the Oracle, which may have been his better chance. If either that or you force a false promise on Innocence. And now, here they come, bottom lane. Innocence, they see him behind the trees, no shadows on the lane. And there goes your first one. False promise, Innocence has to use on himself. Shadow, he can time walk off the damage. Chrono is still available. And Resolution, he's actually got no mana to work with, but Clinks, the damage is still enough. Thanks to False Promise wearing on. Misery, get the hell out of top lane. The fresh Blink Dagger will get him away from Faith, who has a Blink and Ether Lens of his own.
And now the Clinks can start doing what
Caught by Chrono, starts the Siphon, or actually wait for it. The Cold Embrace, Weeha staying alive a fair amount of time, but then, okay, Exorcism committal is real. They're looking for more, and they're going to find it. Yule steps the run, Timber hits the ground, starts with a Timber chain over, Shadow taking heavy damage, and now Resolution wants to help out, but he put himself in halfway. Here comes your epicenter from Misery. He'll Burrow Strike through. He'll slow him down, do a little bit of damage, not enough. The cut! It's big on the Faceless Void. Resolution's back alive. Give him some space. Sucks caught on a cliffside. His Arctic Burn wore off at a very, very bad time.
The Rum's wearing off. They have to back off now, and finally they get a Winter's Curse, which is especially difficult with the Lincoln Sphere on Faceless Void, but no heroes die on Wings yet again. DC get nothing. A penny for your troubles.
And a penny will not fuel a war. They have to find some kind of better opening. The Aghanim Scepter is now done on Weeha, but it's cost them a lot to give him that much space to get it. Clinks will also have his BKB, so 2 critical items arriving for DC. In fact, you can still say 3 after Misery picked up that Blink Dagger. So they have ways to surprise heroes. The Dire Observer Ward on bot river almost scouted out Ice. A little bit too far away as they can. Faith Bian rotating around, looking for an opening. Middle lane, Blink, Burrow Strike, a Death Prophet, the arrow will connect. That's a good 5 seconds. Innocence getting ripped apart by Resolution. He took the False Promise onto Blink, but the life just won't be there. Blink is guaranteed dead when he hits the ground from the damage, and it will happen. Clinks will take the kill. Cold Embrace keeping Misery up. Now it's Faith Pietro. Resolution finding a triple kill. Digital Chaos have just pulled out the team fight of their life. It may give them some way to quell the bleeding that Wings have been doing to them.
Finally, they killed the Death Prophet, even though the Oracle has been ever so vigilant, sitting behind them. And they got caught without the Faceless Void. He has a very greedy build without a TP score on his
Is he thinking about going in? He will. He'll Chrono over on Resolution. Hard to find the kill. Cold Embrace the double. So is the Curse. They're teaming up actually really close together. And now Blink Burrow Strike. Misery tries to create more space. Resolution needs to wait for Ice Ice to hit the ground after Yules. And he will do so. Armor toggling his way out, but not enough. Marana was still there. The Aghanims giving the extra damage.
Not really respecting the Cold Embrace that time. Without the Oracle, they cannot burst through that. And that's 4 kills the way of DC.
How much does it swing? They had 14k advantage in gold for the net worth. It's going to come back down again. This will be a bigger momentum shift for Wings. They'll still have to get themselves back into the lanes.
The Void has to be the one to protect the Death Prophet at this point.
Do you think you can do this, Faith? He's looking at Misery in the tree lines. Misery can actually get body blocked in if he's not careful. He's starting to stun. He's not certain he wants to do it. The Faceless Void is on his way. Wait. Misery. Does he blink? Does he burrow? He'll get stunned. He'll get controlled. And he can't burrow out in time.
How many bashes does this guy get?
He only needed 1, but he got 2.
And even with those 4 kills, DC...
Oh, Resolution, this could be a good snipe. That courier went over the Observer Ward. It's got the rest of the Assault Cuirassed on it. So Resolution, 1 attack is all it needs. 3,000 and a bit to spare. Net worth hitting the deck.
I'm surprised that Innocence hasn't gone for a Ghost Scepter with how farmed Resolution is. He is the biggest threat. They have a Sentry Ward, so they know he's in between the mid T1 and
yeah, that's why Ice Ice is scared to death. He thought he was running down through the Ancients. Resolution will move up. He'll find Ice Ice, but
you can't
want to battle it.
It's way too much fog for a Clinks without Blink to jump in. Faces Void, Chronosphere coming off cooldown very soon. We see the first Ghost Scepter, possibly many, coming up on the Death Prophet.
One way to stop the damage from the Clinks, especially when he's going Chrysalis, not Diffusal.
But then it opens up where Marana can do a lot of damage with the Starstorm, so they have to be careful about how and when they use it.
Very true. What kind of damage do you try and repel? Right, it's not like you can Fortune End to everybody, unless his Oracle gets to a point of having Repressure.
After those 4 kills, Wings only possess an 8,000 gold lead.
Nice Blink Dagger up. Now for the Marana. They're looking towards middle lane. Wings smoke up, rotate around. The arrow won't connect. Kunka.
Death Prophet is not close by. Wings have to be careful not to take a fight while he's not here.
Oh, they're going to walk straight in. Confirm is on cooldown. Dust will trigger the blink. Misery! Evading the Chronosphere. He's fast enough for it. X marks the spot, trying to drag Resolution back in again. The arrows will fly forward.
With the big AP on him and no Chrono up, this is not the fight for Wings unless they pull them
You're
back.
under a Sentry Resolution, but now he's not. He's back far enough. Right behind Innocence. Starts attacking. Bad! And now Timber change forward. Move once more. Blink Burrow. They found Ice Ice. Resolution. Putting that Chrysalis to work. They'll need 1, maybe 2 hits. They'll hold him up. It's the Curse. Chakram, 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 attack, 4! Resolution, where is it? Okay, now he's finally going to hit the deck. The arrow will connect a triple stun. Misery will turn with one of his own. The Tidebringer! Ice Ice will finally take a fall. Misery's too far out.
And they spot out Shadow now. They ping out on it, but...
They'll walk under an obstacle to get to him.
Yep. I wonder if he's going to go for Bloodthorn.
They just want the T1 tower. Resolution can easily take this. There's no fortification.
Yeah, that's more important than the Faceless Void.
You don't even need the creep wave. That's the beautiful thing about the Clinks. His damage output is just so quick that these towers don't stand a chance.
And finally, the supports of DC get items.
Shadow. Too close. Time walks up. They're on the chase. Weeha. Arrow off cooldown in 4-second time. Leaps forward. Actually missing. I don't know exactly where he wanted to go with that.
Just maybe hoping he would TP down there and get an easy arrow, perhaps.
If he stayed on the hillside, he would have just been in the tree line.
Nope.
Another Blink Dagger coming in. This time, it's for the Winter Wyvern.
And Misery has dewarded all of the Radiant wards with his shiny gem. And Roshan going to respawn, and Wings probably pretty unhappy about the last way that Roshan went down. They don't have any armor items.
This can make him happy. Stux has just blinked himself down and put down an Observer Board into the Arctic Burn. He goes inside the pit, outside the pit. Now starts to jump out. Where's the car in the back? It connects the Curse, however, to the Wyvern. He still can't get down. He'll Cold Embrace by himself at least some breathing space. As Wings, they commit the Coco's run, they commit everything. A 5-second arrow will connect on Innocence, but, well, you kind of knew the Wyvern was going to die.
At least the arrow scouted out that there was no Roshan around. They see the observer ward right now, and that is the gem on the Nyx. So they have to huddle around the pit. The Clink's threat is way too much. And they probably have to commit exorcism to it, though, which just leaves Sanking in a perfect position to jump upon them in the pit.
Do you really want to commit that much, however? Like, that's...
It's way better to find a pickup, though, than go into the Roche pit. It's
True.
far too risky.
It just delays you push high ground if you do it. Then there's no exorcism.
They are not really in a rush to take high ground, not with Kunkka.
Oh, this will be nice.
Yes.
They find Misery. Misery, reaction, blink up. So got Fire Strike available. Gonna dodge even under the Sentry Wall. The Chronosphere! This is the gem of DC. Resolution wants to help out. The Nyx Assassin caught in the end of the Chrono. He'll have to tank up the False Promises. Resolution gets bashed up. Even on the first hit. BKB, another bash as well. He'll run away. Where's your curse? 6 seconds till it's off cooldown here for Tusker. He has to back out, move in the neighborhood with a chakra, making it difficult for Wings to come down to kill.
They don't have their gem carrier. Nyx had to TP home to get some extra healing from the False Promise in order to survive. Roshan gonna respawn in 2 seconds, but that is a big momentum swing. Wait, he doesn't have the gem anymore. I think he passed it to Wii. Or Wii picked it up.
Really?
Pretty good.
You're right. It actually got on a Wii.
Yeah, I thought it was on Misery. I think, yeah, that's why he used the Chronosphere on him. Nice pickup.
And that was fast. Now it's DC. They still have a slight advantage, obviously being Dire Side with Roshan being up.
And their ultimates are up. Sand King, Epicenter still up, Winter's Curse not expended in the last fight. So they are ready. Chronosphere is still down for 40. I think this might be a time for DC to say, hey, come at us and Roche.
Nice new item as well for the Timbersaw, picking up a Yule Scepter before this fight. So he's got some kind of escape or control against Wings.
And time dilation counter.
Mm-hmm.
Much cheaper than Lotus. That Observer War scouted out by Faith Beyond, but he does not have a
jump the curse! Just as Death Prophet blinked himself over, the arrow will connect Nyx Assassin. False Promise will keep him alive, but for how long? Resolution put a lot of damage in. Shadow with a time dilation trying to force him out. Move. The Cold Embrace giving him more life. Yule Scepter up towards the end. Nyx Assassin stays alive. The False Promise did its work. So it's only Mu to die. Weehaw! The leap, the blink, he's still up, but now he actually runs into blink. He needs more time. He'll get the Starfall off, but Faith Beyond Ken being saved by this Oracle. The rest of DC are away.
First pick Oracle doing so much work when they can't lock him down. That is the Clinks' job. He has a lot of damage, but he cannot jump on the Oracle. You want him to blow Frost Promise on himself, and if he doesn't, he's going to die in 2 hits, like we saw on that fight top, especially if there's a lucky crit, which is going to happen a little bit more often now that the Daedalus is complete.
They need to bring the gem back. Is he in range? Can he not attack the ward? X marks the spot. Okay, yeah, now we go. Gem is in and pop him. Observer wards will drop. DC does still have another big advantage. I say this is an advantage. They have no out of talent that Wings can easily just move over and take.
Yeah, despite the kill lead being 31-14 for Wings, they're only up 6,000 gold and forcing, spending a lot of time just running around, and also most of the DC's kills are on, or Wings' kills rather, are on supports.
A lot of the kills for DC belong to Resolution. He's taken 9 out of the 14 of DC, and it reflects in his items. I'm interested to see where he goes from here. Like, is it worthwhile getting that Diffusal Blade to get through the Ghost Scepters?
Yeah, I think eventually they're going to get more. I don't know, they only actually have 1 on Death Prophet. Why isn't Sabium gold, so maybe not. That's a normal build, though.
Dewarding happens, so DC definitely know that Wings are around Roshan. They're going to group up, smoke up. Remember, without the Exorcism, there's not a lot of quick damage arriving from Wings. So Roshan, at now 2k life, they're a little bit too far away here, DC. So Roshan will go down to Wings. The question is, do they want to keep fighting? Sentries are down, leap up, looking for the Chrono. The leaps away, however. Timbersaw has the Yule Sash. He gets the Yule Sash up. He's trying to avoid the time dilation. The Chrono! It got a Resolution! That's a big one! They need to find the kill! Ships on the way, and a Resolution crushed on the hull! Tusker also has the Cold Embrace, but there's too much damage there to still find that kill. X mark him back. Weehaw! Thought he might get out this one. The Epicenter arrives from Misery. Minimal damage. Wings can just tank through it. Misery, silence, nukes. He's got enough life. He's moving north, and will it be enough while the battle happens in the pit? Misery will die. DC lose 4 and Wings.
Wow, that Chronosphere, that's one of those super high risk ones. It looked like 2 of them were right about to be on the edge, but he knows the range of that perfectly and catches one of the most highest priority targets, Clinks, without a BKB. Lock him down with a Torrent both to follow. No BKB, no Clinks, no damage.
That's the problem for DC.
It's a big problem because Wee's not farmed enough at this point. He needs to be able to carry his own weight in terms of doing magical damage to their back line, pressuring the Oracle, but right now he's just unable to contribute because he's died so many times. He's died 8 times this game.
Time is money.
Yeah, it's not a happy game for Weeha this time around.
And I don't know, you mentioned the Lincolns here maybe not being the greatest this game, but look at Shadow, 11-0 and 12.
He does what's needed.
I don't know how it
He
looks
gets
up
the
for every
perfect
time.
chrono. You're the perfect chrono, and you've still got the beautiful thing that is Oracle. Like, DC commits so much to finding one hero, and then all of a sudden, Oracle, he's giving the extra life over. We saw that from Shadow in the bottom lane fight. Oracle always had his back.
I also like the Lincoln Spear build because it gives you a lot of HP. If you go Vlad's, which is equally good for farming and sustain, you can just easily get bursted down by a double Starfall or Timber Burst or whatever it may be. But if you have that extra layer of 15 strength, then you can time walk off. Your Oracle has more time to throw that false promise on you. You have more time for the Coco's ship to come out. Coco's rum.
DC's ready to go. You're so Warcraft, then.
You really want to fight into this if you're DC though, with the Aegis, with Chrono up,
Not when
gems.
Wings are basically reaching around. It's gonna come right behind DC. The scan comes out from Radiant side. They don't find anyone in Viz. They know the Clinks isn't there, and here they go. Blink triggers the exorcism. They're on tier 3 tower.
They wanted to be able to spam this with the Timber Salt and the Winter Wyvern, but they're nowhere close. The T3's gonna fall before they really get any damage.
Yeah, now the jump comes in. Quick chain away after he blinks forward. Burrow strike. It connects on the death pop with the chrono. We are a move. Shadow catches 2 again. The current combo. They move down towards Boom with a double thump from Fate. They ensure the kill. No buyback available for the Timber Saw. And Clinks is still waiting for an opportunity. Resolution sitting outside the base. He doesn't know where to go. Blink Burrow forward. Blink exits and wears off, however, so all the life kicks back into her. Misery. Caught out. Another double thump from Fate Beyond. The jump forward from Shadow. Looking for the damage and a time lock burst on Weeha. This could be it. A triple kill for Shadow. The cast is good, however. Nixus hasn't been brought down. The arrow flies forward. Missed his target. Resolution needs to pump in more damage. The gem stolen by Shadow as he'll run back out through the front lines. The Starfall dodged by the first Manta. Still hit by the secondary one as Clinks. Where is this control? Where is this damage? It just isn't there. The silence on Murata means he can't arrow. They see Innocence TPing out. It's going to be too late. The TP was more than well completed before the arrow reaches this point.
Yeah, Betty wish she had the Fusel now. The Ghost Scepter on the Oracle. Just popped out of nowhere at the perfect time. A clean sweep of the melee racks for Wings. These Chronospheres from Shadow, he's really quick with those. They had an Observer Ward in the base, but it just lined them up for a perfect impale after Nixus, and Winter Wyvern had to blow so many of his spells to try and keep his cores alive.
I like how much Shadow doesn't want to go back to base, actually bringing salves out to himself instead of holding onto the gem, which is on the courier. I'll trigger the second one in a second.
I mean, he has Oracle on his side. He doesn't even need the salves, but
hey, when
gotta get your farm up.
When you have a 15,000 net worth advantage, you can splurge a little bit.
DC trying to spring a trap, but the Manta Illusions looks like it's gonna scout out any shenanigans that DC can throw on this bottom lane. They can't go into the area. They know those wards are there, but Ice might run into it.
Yeah, he walks straight over. Misery, does he want to? Does he want to? He doesn't know. Oh no! Misery misses the target. The arrow will also miss. DC, the tilts again, and Misery is like, screw it. Commit the ulti, but the ult scepter up. Ice running circles around DC's missed stuns. They're going to lose more. Move actually chronoed a little bit further up. Shadow's able to find him. Support will arrive with a stun in from the next assassin. It gives Shadow the time to get the hit. Weeha, as well as Misery. Misery doesn't actually have a TP scroll. He'll Burrow strike forward. Weeha, no arrow available, so they're looking to kill off Innocence. But now the arrow will fly forward, but it's well off target again. Innocence, with so much confidence, stands its ground, and Weeha trying to predict he'll move back now as Shadow. Again on another run under the tier 4 towers of DC. They do not have a creep wave with them, but they can start a pincer.
Innocence might get picked up by Resolution.
Oh, can they do it? There's a Ghost Scepter. You can't pick off Jack. Yes, he can now. Diffuser Blade is up. Turns it off. The curse. It holds Death properly in position. Shadow jumps over, but now he's in range of it. Weeha with the Starfall. Not enough damage. That's a 4-star back to Winter Wyvern. Away from Blink. Coco's Rum well off the mark. And Realm Misery is the stun there. 1 second, 2 seconds. Shadow double hit. Nice and quick. Finds the pick off on Misery. All he want to do is retreat.
Still alive and healthy on the side of Wings, and with no BKB on Cleeks, is going to have to hope for a miracle here.
Exorcism is down, however, a miracle's been eliminated. Move. There goes Chakram forward. Arrow flies in off target. Nice hit from Weehaw, but the better hit from Face Beyond. He has been godlike this game. Another big stun. Resolution. He'll finally bring down Blink. There is a spike carapace available. Resolution, no BKB charge. So he'll stun up himself. Chakram, or you can just timber chain into the Whirling Death. Gem can be recovered as Moo hot on the tails of Ice. Does he have the damage? Whirling Death, one punch, there it is. Moo gets a double kill, but the damage has been done. A full Raxing on mid and bottom lane done by Wings.
I think it's rapier time for Clinks.
I think
he
so
needs
too.
it.
Moo, this will be godlike if he can get it for the chrono. How much life has he got? Nowhere near enough. Shadow ripping him apart. There is no white flag on the door from DC. They continue to fight.
Wings thought they got in the game with a refresher up on the Death Prophet, but he didn't Yules himself in time. That's actually what killed him. The Clinks was just beating on him. It was very close to the Exorcism being returned, but didn't Yules, and then once she dies, everyone else dies around her. Luckily, they have a backup gem, I think, on the chicken.
Yeah, it's on the chicken along with the rest of almost the entire Shivas for the Death Prophet.
Invisibility.
Resolution, I want to see that 6,200 gold.
He needs something. Yeah. The relic is picked up on Resolution. He needs any kind of damage he can get at the moment.
Yeah, you want to be able to like one or two shot the Oracle, because the Oracle usually doesn't actually have the camera on himself. It's usually on his cores, and he doesn't have a blink dagger, so he's especially vulnerable to the Clinks.
With Resolution, he'll still have multiple problems, aka he's down to 4 diffusal charges, so by the time he can buy up the Rapier, he may not actually have any diffusal charges left.
Yeah, I don't think you can sell an item at this point too to get the Rapier. You just have to farm out your 2,000.
Yeah, he needs to hold
buyback.
Everything he gets as an Orchid build out from the Void is actually, well, one of the most expensive items in the game. The Bloodthorn is arriving for the Faceless Void.
Yeah, you can Yules off the time dilation, but then you're just going to get silenced up. And then the Mirana has no solution really to the Bloodthorn.
And even that, like, you get an Aghanim Scepter on the Assassin bottom lane. They initiate. Ice they want the kill. The stun is there on Misery as Yulson protects Ice again. Misery forced up now. The double one. DC, they just need to bail out here, but Misery pulled back. Cold Embrace will keep him alive a little bit longer. Burrow strikes up for him as the Chrono on the back lines. They found Resolution. It's a big kill. Mooney to turn the damage around. Innocent to be ripped apart by the Chakra. And he will go down. The cards is too late to take the attention away from Wings. And now Epicenter. Misery will also jump in. Mirana dies on the left. Misery, 4 stuff out. Shadow, hot on the tails. Remember, this is DC trying to defend when they got 2 lanes of Megas up. Moo has to buy back, but there's no buyback for V or Resolution. So a hard fight now in front of DC. Exorcism will wear off. That's one upside for them. And Wings will back out. Even with the 2 cores, they're not going to push the envelope too far. They have the refresher on Blink, so you have a second Exorcism if you want to push, but without all 5 heroes, it's just not worth it.
There's a gem just sitting on the ground. I wonder if they're going to try and pick it up with the chicken, but very close to DC's side.
And Clinks cannot get caught out like that. Like, if they can recover the gem...
I think it's more so like Shadow always finding the right targets with the Chronosphere. He knows that the Clinks is the only one that can really do damage to them. Mirana's countered by the Fate's Edict.
That courier has traveled the whole... he's waiting, drop the TP scroll. Now the courier on the silence. Yules will dispel. Support's coming over. It's there from the Winter Wyvern, but with the blood, it'll be enough. The Bloodthorn, Timbersaw. He's not going to pop. They force up him out. Mr. Timber Chainer. They pop him. The gem's on the ground, and there's no buyback. 80 seconds without the Timbersaw. DC, they're scrambling away. Soxa needs some help. Misery's there, but again with the silence. 4-star fuck. Nice arrow from Wing. Hitting Blink on the backline. They Burrow strike forward. Blink is low with a splinter. It's not enough damage. Shadow the Chronosphere. Resolution. He walked into it. The damage is there from Shadow. Resolution is gone. And with it, maybe the rest of the game. GG. Wings will take game number 2.
What a god on this Faceless Void. 20 kills, 0 deaths, perfect Chronospheres. Resolution tried to all in with the Rapier at the end, but no death packs, walking in a chrono, just a lot of mistakes from DC as they crumble in game number 3.
Yeah, the big story is that bottom lane missing of stun after stun. You can see how DC, the smile turns quickly upside down as Wings have a flawless game, and you gotta say it, it's the way you do it, non-Malk style.